Yeah, there are signs of spring around New York these days, and the Mets are trying to get their bats going at the same time. Terry Collins trying to figure out who to play on a daily basis. Meanwhile, the Buccos are in town with one of the best center fielders in the game. Andrew McCutchen makes his way into Citi Field tonight as Terry takes on the Pirates. At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the Pittsburgh Pirates. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Ron Darling with you tonight as the Mets open a 4-game series against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pittsburgh off to another good start. They'll throw 3 left-handers in the first 3 games of this series. And, Ronnie, with the Mets struggling to score runs at home, just 22 runs in their last 9 home games, Terry's trying to figure out who to play on a nightly basis. A little different unit tonight.
Well, he's just trying to shake up this lineup, so he's got all of his right-handed hitters in. If you look at the lineup, you're going to see that Juan Lagares is in there, Andrew Brown is in there. You're also going to see Justin Turner's in there. So Duda and Ike Davis are out. Trying to get those guys in, I think, for another reason, to see if they can play really at this level in Brown and Lagares. The only caveat is left-hander Jeff Locke owns right-handed hitters this year and struggling against left-handers.
Of course, that lineup was brought to you by Geico, but you knew that. Dylan G pitches for the Mets tonight, and it's been a struggle getting G going. He got a win in his last start in Miami, but didn't pitch particularly well, and really that's been the story of his season.
And you saw gave up 4 runs in his last start. With that win, he's really struggled with fastball command and some zip on his fastball. He has extra rest this time. That should help.
And he will be pitching on 7 days rest tonight against the aforementioned Jeff Locke, who's pitched pretty well for the Pirates.
Well, 3-1 record. You see his lifetime numbers, but even more importantly, he has 14 consecutive scoreless innings on the road.
So it's the Mets and Pirates opening up a 4-game series at Citi Field with Dylan G on the mound for New York. Nice looking night in New York. The Buccos are in town, and all the action's coming your way tonight right here on SNY. Ball on SNY is brought to you by Audi, Truth in Engineering. By Richwood Savings Bank, they treat you like family anytime, any place. By Verizon Wireless, enter to throw out the first pitch by playing the Verizon Moments of a Lifetime sweepstake at Mets.com/Verizon. And by your Tri-State Cadillac dealer, visit CadillacTristate.com to search local offers and find a dealer near you. Meet the Wiggles at an exclusive meet and greet this Sunday at Citi Field when the Mets host the Pirates at 1:10. The Wiggles will also be performing 2 songs live prior to the game. Visit Mets.com/The Wiggles for details and tickets. Let's take a drive around the majors, presented by Cadillac. Bad news for the Red Sox. Joel Hanrahan, the former Pirates closer, now on the disabled list for 60 days with elbow issues. He's going to see Dr. Andrews in Alabama. Second straight win for the former Met prospect Scott Kazmir. Struck out 10 this afternoon. Indians sweep the A's. Helped out a little bit last night. We'll talk more about that later, about the replay controversy. And also this afternoon, the Nats got 3 in the first, survived a Matt Tuiasosopo 3-run homer and beat the Tigers 5-4. 4 straight wins now for the Nationals. Dylan G makes his way in from the bullpen, getting ready to face the Pirates tonight. First pitch coming up from the big city in just a moment. Here. And here is your Hyundai Pirates starting lineup. Starling Marte, who has led off games with hits 63% of the time. That's amazing. He's off to a great start for the Pirates. Andrew McCutchen is heated up. Russell Martin back in the lineup after missing a couple of games. The native New Yorker Pedro Alvarez has been struggling. The veteran Brandon H filling in for the injured Neil Walker at second, as the Pirates, who are 18-15 on the year, take on Dylan G tonight.
Well, it might be a perfect team for Dylan to start against in 3 starts against the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's only given up 4 runs in 21 innings and is 2-0. So Jaguar numbers for G this season. Walks are better than they were in spring training. And defensively behind Dylan G, the Lexus Mets defense, Brown, Lagares, and Bird in the outfield. Right, Tejada, Murphy, and Turner. We talked about Ike Davis on the bench. John Buck every day. John Buck doing the catching.
G's last start was against the Marlins, and he had trouble getting people out. He lasted 5 innings, gave up 9 hits, gave up 3 first-inning runs, somehow able to survive through 5 and wound up with a win as the Mets scored that day and won 7-6. But the numbers are troubling, and so are some of the interior numbers. The velocity is down. The swings and misses are down. The strikeouts are down, and that's made it tougher for Dylan to compete so far this year. Clint Hurdle, who had one time played for the Mets, now in his 3rd season as Pirate manager.
I played with Clint for an entire season in '83 in AAA, and he had an unbelievable season after really being let go from the Kansas City Royals after he had been a phenom and on the cover of Sports Illustrated and was going to be the next great player. Wasn't to be.
Clint got the Pirates off to great starts each of the last 2 years. Last year, on the 8th of August, the Pirates were 16 games over 500. And then they went 16-36 the rest of the way, finished under 500 for the 20th straight year.
But when you look at their lineup, you've got to really appreciate the athletes they have in their lineup, starting with Starling Marte, Andrew McCutchen, Alvarez, Schneider. Keep going.
And even with 60% of their projected starting rotation on the disabled list right now, their pitching is good and probably stands to get a whole lot better as the season goes along. So the signs are certainly pointing up for Pittsburgh. Here's Marte. Well, here's where he's done in the first inning. He's 17 for 27. That's a .630 batting average with a .688 on base percentage, his first time up leading off a game. So we'll see how he does against Dylan G, who's not given up a hit to the first batter to face him this year. Marte at .331, 5th in the National League. 24-year-old Dominican, and a check swing foul, and G is out in front 0-2. It'll be Marte, then Travis Snyder and Andrew McCutchen for the Pirates in the first inning. Pittsburgh comes from home, where they just lost to Felix Hernandez and the Mariners yesterday. A great pitching matchup between Hernandez and A.J. Burnett, who has been the Pirates' ace. And Marte able to flick away that slider, and it's still 0-2.
Interesting that the second pitch of the game was up and into Marte. That's something that Dylan G wants to do more tonight. There's A.J. Burnett. Boy, he's had a nice stay in Pittsburgh so far, hasn't he?
Pitched very well in defeat yesterday. Mets will not see A.J. in this series. Of course, he began his professional career in the Mets farm system. 0-2 to Marte, and he lifts one foul. Marte will strike out. He's already fanned 31 times this year, but a .396 on base percentage. He's done a terrific job in that leadoff spot after being called up midseason last year.
You can really see the difference in velocity. That pitch upstairs is a pitch when Dylan G first came up, was a strikeout pitch for him, fouled off that time by Marte.
And he gets Marte with the changeup and strikes out the first man to face him.
Well, I think a good approach so far by Dylan G, trying to go up and in, and then finishing him off with the breaking ball.
So a big first out for G to get, considering how Marte had been opening games. And now here's Travis Snyder, the former Blue Jay first-round draft pick, hitting a .273 on the year. Well, last year the Pirates came to Citi Field, and Travis Snyder made maybe the best play ever made in this ballpark.
It's always reminiscent of, I remember one of the best catches I saw in video, and it was maybe 25, 30 years ago, when it was in the Japanese league, and one of the Japanese left fielders got on top of the fence and made the catch. That was as close to that catch I've ever seen.
Of course, then there was Rodney McRae going through the fence in a minor league game.
Now, the catches here in this organization for the Mets will be AG, Swoboda, Chavez, and Baxter's got to be included now.
Certainly because of the import of the catch, if not necessarily the degree of difficulty. Justin Turner playing first base tonight, looking in for the signs. 1-2 to Snyder, who was picked up last year in a deadline deal for pitcher Brad Lincoln, who went to Toronto. We talked about G's fastball and how that velocity has diminished. Last year he averaged 90.2 miles per hour with the fastball. This year, 88.1, more than 2 miles per hour slower on average.
Turner looking for the signs. What does that do exactly? Well, if you're at first base and you know it's going to be a fastball, you can favor that the ball might be to your right. If it's a breaking ball, you can favor that the ball is going to be at you or maybe down the line. So you can anticipate at least.
Snyder triples the changeup foul. Ike Davis sitting tonight, as is Lucas Duda against the left-hander. Interesting calls by Terry Collins with his lineup tonight. We addressed it a little bit during our open. You've got a struggling player in Ike Davis, who the Mets need to get going to have any offensive success. And the Mets have been playing very few games lately. Before this homestand, they had played only 2 games in 5 days because of rainouts and off days. And now, third game of the homestand, he's sitting down, and the Mets will face lefties the next 2 days as well.
Well, you know, Turner is hitting about 380 when he starts games, but how are you going to get Ike Davis straightened out if he's not on the field?
Here's ball 4, and so after getting ahead on Snyder, G loses him to a walk. So 1 out and 1 on, and now Andrew McCutchen, who got off to a slow start this year, but he's made up for it lately, hitting .438 over his last 8 games.
This guy is cool with a capital C. He just got a walk that looks like a star.
Still only 26 years old, and he is a National League superstar. First round pick back in '05 out of high school in Florida. This is a Pirates lineup that's stocked with first round draft picks. That's how you build your team. It's been a lot of dark days for this franchise since their last winning season in 1992. But McCutchen is the cornerstone of how you rebuild.
Wow.
Led the league in hits last year, second in on-base percentage, second in slugging. One of the reasons G has been successful against the Pirates in his 3 career starts is he's done well against McCutchen. McCutchen just 1 for 9 against him. Here's your umpiring crew. Rob Drake has the plate. Sam Holbrook, Joe West, the crew chief, and Andy Fletcher is at third. Umpires very much in the news and the talk in baseball today, and rightly so after the fiasco in Cleveland last night. And McCutchen fouls one away. If you missed it, and if you're a baseball fan, I sort of doubt that you did.
Yeah.
2 outs in the 9th inning. Oakland down by a run at Cleveland, and Adam Rosales hits one over the fence in left field. It hits a railing, comes back on the field. The initial call by the umpires was that it hit the fence. They went back and reviewed it. The video review pretty clearly showed that the ball went over the fence, and they didn't overturn it. They kept it a double. McCutchen strikes out for the second out. The umpire who made the initial call is, you look at the last pitch by G to strike out McCutchen. The initial call was made by Angel Hernandez, who was also the crew chief and so had the greatest authority in studying the video review.
Well, I can understand getting it wrong the first time, because when you saw it played the first time, it was a difficult call. But after seeing it on video, it had to be overturned. Why it wasn't, who'll know, but it would had to be.
Grounded down to first. Turner handles the grounder by Garrett Jones, and G works around a 1-out walk in the opening inning. Mets have come to bat in the bottom of the first with no score. Wise brought to you by Modell's. Throwing out the first pitch tonight was Stanley Simon from Staten Island, winner of the Joey Glick lookalike contest. Here's your Geico Mets starting lineup. Cramming the right-handed bats in there tonight against the lefty Jeff Locke, and so a start in left field for Andrew Brown as Lucas Duda sits. Start at first base for Justin Turner as Ike Davis sits. Juan Lagares gets the start in center. And there is the aforementioned Jeff Locke.
Well, you see the Toyota numbers for Jeff Locke. The numbers you want to see is that he's not a strikeout pitcher. Almost the same number of walks to strikeouts. What he does do, though, keeps the ball down, gets a lot of ground balls.
Ruben Tejada will lead things off for New York. Ruben, who's hitting .300 against lefties this year. 3 for 3 in his career against Locke, whom the Mets beat up in a late September start here at Citi Field last year. And Tejada takes the first pitch, fastball for a strike. Tejada, Murphy, and Wright to try and get the Mets started in the opening inning. Leadoff has been a troubling spot for the Mets all season. They've used 6 different players in that leadoff spot. As a group, they're hitting .211 with an on-base percentage of .279 in the leadoff spot. So Terry Collins has tried to mix and match to find the right guy. It's Tejada tonight against the lefty. And Ruben flies one out to center, easy for McCutchen. And that's the first out.
Defensively behind Jeff Locke this evening. You can see Marte, McCutchen, and Snyder, very athletic outfield. Alvarez, the local kid, Varmus, Inge, and Jones, Garrett Jones at first base, and Russell Martin, the ex-Yank, Los Angeles Dodger, behind the plate.
Here's Murphy, who got off to such a good start this year, but over the last 10 games, just 6 for 42, that 143 clip. Average down to .275 on the year. Actually hitting better against lefties than against righties. .327 against left-handed. And Locke gets ahead of him 0-2. Locke last pitched on Saturday, got matched up against Steven Strasburg in Pittsburgh, and went 5 innings, got a no decision. Had trouble with his control in that game. Walked 3 batters in 5+ innings. They took him out after 74 pitches, which was strange. The Pirates right now operate without 3/5 of their starting rotation. James McDonald just went on the disabled list. Jeff Karstens has been on the disabled list. And Charlie Morton, coming back from Tommy John surgery, is out on rehab soon, and he'll probably be the next one back. So Locke is getting the opportunity. Tomorrow night, Wandy Rodriguez goes. Saturday, they bring Francisco Liriano back from the disabled list, his first start for them. So they're going to eventually have a wealth of starting pitching. Murphy takes the breaking ball outside, 2-2.
That's what the Dodgers thought earlier this year. Right.
And then the other piece for the Pirates is their bullpen has been fantastic. Foul back by Murphy right toward camera 2.
Al was busy getting out of Dodge. He wanted no part of that foul back.
He was trying to catch the ball with the camera, which could be like a $70,000 mistake.
The bottom of the inning always produces this interesting lighting. Look at Murph. It looks like he's backlit with the sun.
Grounded down to Jones at first base, and flip to Locke for the second out. So 2 out and nobody on, and David Wright will come to the plate. Wow. Well, that's coming off the glass in that Verizon building and into the hitter's eyes.
Reminds me of something like from The Natural, right? This is one of those things where for some hitters, sometimes you just pull that brim of your cap down a little bit, try to shade your eyes. Doesn't seem to be in the a face of the right-handed hitting David Wright, but seemed to be a problem for Murphy.
Certainly more of a problem with a left-hander on the mound coming out of that side as David takes inside.
That's not great either. Remember that batter's eye that's right behind Jeff Locke. The black around the home run apple is what the batter should be looking at behind the pitcher Locke.
You know, there are some minor league ballparks where they configured the stadiums wrong and the sun sets in center field.
There's the batter's eye.
Stroke down to first. Jones playing off the line, able to dive back and get it. And that gets Jeff Locke a 1-2-3 inning. We head to the second at Citi Field with no score. New Yorker about the best pizza in the city. That might be close. John's on Bleecker Street.
Yeah, Bleecker Street, right off 7th Avenue. If you want to make it over there.
No slices, though. just pie. Jeff Locke, after working a 1-2-3 first inning.
Find it pretty interesting. He's talking to bench coach Jeff Bannister and not to Ray Searage, the pitching coach.
Well, Ray Searage could be working on hitting. You know, he's got that 1,000 career batting average as a Met.
I used to occasionally ask Bill Robinson about hitters. He'd sometimes give you the scouting report how they were approaching you.
Here's Russell Martin, who's sat out the last couple of days with a stiff neck, back in the lineup tonight. And Martin got off to a dreadful start after signing a free agent contract with the Pirates. Just 2 for his first 31. He's made up for it since. He is raging hot right now. Martin surprisingly signing with the Pirates, 2-year deal, $17 million, and spurning the Yankees in the process. And you see what he's done since that difficult start. You don't want to knock your cap off with your glove as you go into the windup.
Martin had an interesting year last year. 211 average, not good. Career worst. 21 home runs, career best.
He now has 99 career home runs, 6 of them this year.
Yankees hit what, 245 home runs last year as Pedro Alvarez. Washington Heights on deck. You know, you never know. You get in that ballpark, you start falling in love with trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Especially the short porch and right. And Martin takes the ball very well the other way. And he taps that one past the mound. Tejada comes in to play it and gets Martin one away. We started a discussion last inning about the controversy in Cleveland last night and what that represents, the fact that that umpiring crew, even after looking at replay, could not get a call right that I think most people saw as being a home run. There's been talk in some quarters today about that Major League Baseball should step in and overturn it when Major League Baseball has already said we're not going to do that.
Well, how could you do it anyway? It's too late.
There's been talk about refining the replay process, changing it to more like an NHL system where they have a war room and they review it from off-site as Alvarez flies one out to Lagares in center field. That's the tweet of the game. That's from our old buddy Paul DeDuca saying Angel Hernandez missed a call and the replay. Another option would be to have an umpire, fifth umpire, sits in the press box or some other place in the ballpark, travels with the crew, and maybe they rotate that guy and he has charge of the replays. But I think there's a larger issue here, and I don't know how you feel about this, Ronnie, and that is the general competence of the umpire.
Yeah.
I mean, an umpire should be able to look at that replay and make the right call.
You know, I think the quote was we didn't 100% see that we could change our call, our original call, which is I don't know how else to put it. I mean, it's as bad can be. All you have to do is take a look at that once. I would look at it twice to make sure my eyes were seeing the right thing. All you do is see it once, and you could tell that it hit off the railing, especially the way it caromed back onto the field.
Now, there is a caveat to all this, and that is that there was no side angle. All you saw was the straight on shot, and perhaps somebody could see it differently. And if the game were a national game, as Inge is hit by the pitch, he goes to first with 2 out. There might have been an angle along the outfield fence, and it would have been more obvious that the ball was out of the ballpark. And the other caveat is that, you know, the NFL has been doing this replay thing a lot longer than Major League Baseball, and they don't always get it right either. So the question is the replay system wrong, or do the umpires just have to be better?
Umpires have to be better. To me, when I think about it, it's almost obstinance that they had made a call. They saw a call that they could say to themselves, you know what, it's not 100%, so we're going to stick with our call. And you know what's obnoxious about it is that we're not talking about Adam Rosales. We're not talking about the Oakland Athletics, who are trying to mount a great comeback. We're talking about Angel Hernandez and his crew. And that's beyond me. You got to get that play right.
Glenn Varmus, the number 8 hitter. And then there was the addendum at the end of the game when the pool reporter went in to interview Angel Hernandez. He would not allow her to run a tape recorder, which is absurd. I mean, and that just shows the arrogance of the individual umpire in that case. So that's something Major League Baseball's got to work on. They have got to improve the quality and accountability of their umpires, period. And this particular umpire, and you know, you hate to single him out, but frankly, he singled himself out. He's been involved in a lot of controversial and wrong decisions over the last decade and a half.
Well, he's not considered. He's considered an umpire that's very opinionated. He's very fiery. He's a guy that'll come at the players at times. But I'm really about getting a call right. If you can't get a call right after the replay of it, then there's something wrong with the system to me.
The way that baseball has evolved their replay system, and it only involves boundary calls involving home runs, is that 3 of the umpires go down and look at the video, including the crew chief, who in this case was Angel Hernandez, who had made the original call.
Yeah, one stays on the field, of course, to you know, to take care of any situation that might happen on the field. Be very interesting how that call would have been made if that had been October baseball.
2-2 to Varmus. Hit sharply. One hopper for Tejada and makes the flip to Murphy to end the inning. A hit batsman and a man left on. Middle of the second. John Buck to lead off in a scoreless game. trivia question for tonight. Clint Hurdle played 59 games with the Mets. Which current Major League manager played the most games for the Mets? I think I've got that one.
I'm thinking north of the border, but no. Yeah?
There's nobody else, I don't think, unless I'm missing somebody. John Buck leads off for the Mets in the second. Buck in an 0 for 14 skid right now. And takes a fastball for a strike from Jeff Locke. Buck still tied for second in the National League in home runs and in RBIs, but it's been rough for Buck over the last week or so. His on base percentage down to .272 for the year.
John Buck is a free swinger. So what has happened now? They're throwing him less strikes. He's still been going after it. And I think the other thing that has happened is pitchers read the paper too, and they see those 10 home runs. They see those 29 RBIs. They've been much more careful with John.
1-2 from Locke, and the changeup outside. 2-2. It'll be Buck, then Justin Turner and Marlon Byrd. That's with an almost all right-hand batting lineup tonight. Murphy, the only left-hand swinger against Locke, which is interesting considering that Locke's numbers are backwards this year. He's actually been tougher against right-hand hitters than he has been against lefties. Sinker baller who throws a good changeup.
Sinker ball, changeup, his breaking ball is his third best pitch, which is usually the equalizer for the left-handed hitter. All the charts not computer generated by the Pirates, all little notes there by that they are checking out. I know that Dave Duncan used to do all his by hand also, his defensive charts.
That's a lot of notes. Buck hits one the other way for a base hit. Haven't seen too many of those from John this year. Sharply hit to right field, and the Mets have their first base runner of the night.
I was watching John in batting practice today, almost exclusively going up the middle and the other way, trying to work a little bit on his stroke and not be ahead of that fastball. It's a good swing right there. Hands back, drops him inside the baseball, and solid contact to right. Picture perfect.
So here's the red-hot Justin Turner. After Buck snaps out of an 0 for 14 skid, Turner has been swinging the bat better than anybody on the ball club lately. Now getting a chance to play a little bit more. Played his first ever inning in the outfield in last night's game. Played the ninth, and all he got to do was watch one sail over his head into the stands.
Wow.
Pretty interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, the pitches that they'll chase, each hitter. Wow. Approach is APPRO. Approach to the hitter.
David Wright's strength, fastball middle in.
So there's Oppo, now there's APRO.
Locke misses outside, a ball and a strike. All right, so I've been mentally scanning the 30 major league managers.
Yes.
Other than Hurdle, I count 3 who played for the Mets.
Okay.
And there are 2 who it could be. I'm not sure which one played more games.
It's a tough one too. There's another one up north that you're thinking about, right?
Line drive, base hit for Turner. McCutchen hurries over quickly, cuts it off in the gap. That'll stop Buck at third. Turner to second, the throw, and he's out. Second base umpire Joe West took a long time making up his mind, but McCutchen throws out Turner, trying to stretch it into a double.
Well, nice hitting first by Justin Turner. Splits the gap, but it shows what speed can do. It's not only at a fly ball. McCutchen gets to it quickly, knows that the runner's going. One hop strike, and Joe West with the call. I thought he got his foot in, but watch out, hits the ground and comes up out of the air. So the foot did not go straight on the dirt into the bag. It popped up once it hit the dirt, and that allowed the infielder for the Pirates to get the tag down. Buck, of course, is going to go first and third, no problem. But just a beautiful overhand throw right there by McCutchen.
And foot did pop up. The question is, did the tag get down on the foot before it came back down? So 1 out and a runner at third for Marlon Byrd, and he takes up and away for ball 1. Let's see, the foot goes up, and I think the foot came down before he tagged him.
I agree. Inge was in a good position. He put the tag down. You can almost say the ball kind of beat him, but the tag was not applied, much to the dismay of Turner.
So it's an 8-4 put out for the first out of the inning as Locke gets the curveball over to Byrd, 1-1. You see the foot's on the bag. The tag not yet applied.
Not many center fielders in the league make that play.
Now
what it was
afterward, the front foot came off the bag.
Slides off.
Now was the tag still applied at that point? Maybe. 2-1 now to Byrd.
I think that was more of Joe West being an old school umpire. We're talking about the umpire so far, and he's the guy that rose through the ranks. If the ball beats you, you're going to be out.
So now Byrd trying to get that run in from third. And hits it in the air to right. Not all that deep. Buck very slow at third. Snyder's got a good arm. Now Buck's going to try it. Snyder's throw is a high one. Goes all the way to the pitcher backing up. And the run comes home. Sacrifice fly for Marlon Byrd. His 13th RBI gives the Mets a 1-0 lead.
Well, you can thank Snyder with this. He's on his back foot. He catches it on the glove side instead of on his arm side, and then throws a rainbow in without a hop to the pitcher backing up. So you've got to get this ball where you are coming in 3 or 4 steps. You want that right hand, that glove on the right hand to be on your left side so you can make the transfer quick. And of course the throw you want to be a little lower than that.
So the Mets score first. Now 2 out and nobody on for Andrew Brown. Still looking for his first hit as a Met. He's gone 0 for 6, getting his 3rd start tonight. Brown playing left field with Duda on the bench against the left-hander, which is interesting because Duda hit a home run last night and certainly has handled left-handers okay this year.
When we first came and we saw the lineup, you and I both assumed that Lucas must be, tight or, maybe had nursing a little tiny injury and not going to be in the lineup. But to me, it looks like a lineup that the Mets are trying to decide if Lagares or Brown, giving them some consistent at bats and see if they can help the ball club.
Well, the Mets continue to run outfielders out in seeing whether they can play. And at this level, they've already sent a couple down to the minor leagues after slow starts. And Brown getting an opportunity now. Lagares on deck. Neither one of them has hit much yet. Locke runs the fastball inside. It's 3-2 to Brown. Andrew Brown, 28 years old, has big league experience with the Cardinals and the Rockies, but never consistent playing time. Reaches for the fastball, fouls it off.
Gary, the one thing I see in Brown so far, and it's very few at bats, he does seem to have kind of a longish swing like Colin Cowgill did. Very powerful swing, but a little long.
Again, the 3-2. And just inside, and Brown works out a walk. So Locke issues his first walk of the game. And that prolongs the inning.
We'll see if this catches any part of the plate. Looks like a pretty good pitch to Russell Martin, the catcher. Well, if you're going to make an argument that was off the plate in, you can say yes, just barely. That was bad analyzing, and used to be a pitcher analyzing. That's what that was. I thought it was a strike when I saw it first.
There's Juan Lagares making his 6th start, just 2 for 19. You know what? We've both completely blown that trivia question.
We have. Because there's someone real obvious.
Completely blew it. Were you here yesterday?
Here comes Ray Surge. I was here yesterday.
So was
what are
I.
we thinking about? That's awful.
I mean, that's just terrible.
It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. I'm embarrassed personally. I'm glad it wasn't a Stump Gary day.
Can we go to the replay?
So Ray Searage, always the answer to a Mets trivia question, because Searage, the only man in history who has a 1,000 career batting average and a 1,000 career winning percentage as a Met.
Jeez.
That's when it's time to retire, right?
It was interesting. Ray Searage, when he first came out, all the talking was to Russell Martin, the catcher, and then he proceeded to talk to Locke. So he wanted to get something through to Martin first before he went to his pitcher.
So Locke has thrown 22 pitches already in this inning. He's already thrown ball 1 to Lagares with Brown at first and 2 out. And now behind Lagares 2-0.
No, that never happened to me in the majors, but it happened in minor leagues. I won't say who because I don't want to embarrass him. But the manager came out and talked to the catcher the entire time and said things like, is this pitcher that's to the left of me at any point in this game, is he going to throw a strike? Tight strike zone so far from Rob Drake, the home plate umpire.
That wasn't a former pitcher who did that, was it?
No. No, it wasn't.
Hit hard, and Lagares has himself a base hit. Brown around second. He'll stop there as Marte picks it up quickly. So Juan Lagares is his 3rd big league hit, and the Mets' 3rd hit of the inning.
Well, successful so far with this new lineup. Brown gets on with the walk. A nice level swing here from Lagares. Off the end of the bat, but still a hit.
So that'll clear the pitcher's spot if nothing else, as Dylan G comes up with 2 out and 2 on. Dylan's 1 for 11 this year. Has 6 career runs batted in. Would have had a chance to be a much bigger inning had that call gone differently at second base on Turner, as it might have. And G pops the first one up. Inge retreating. Snyder coming in from right, and he's got it to end the inning. Mets get a run and lead 1-0 after 2. Subway. You can listen to all Mets games on Sports Radio 66 and Sports Radio 101.9 WFAN. 3 more games with the Pirates, and then the Mets go to St. Louis and Chicago next week. It's supposed to be in the 80s in St. Louis. They're the city probables for the remainder of the series. Sean Markham goes tomorrow against Wandy Rodriguez. John Neese against Francisco Liriano Saturday. And Matt Harvey Day is on Sunday. Jeff Locke leads off, looking for his first hit of the season. Just 1 for 25 in his career. Dylan G walked a batter in the first, hit a batter in the second. Pirates looking for their first hit off G, who has had troubles in the third inning this year. In fact, 4 of the 5 home runs that Dylan's given up this season have come in the third inning. Locke hits a one-hopper down to right. And David throws him out, 1 away.
Well, you said it's beautiful here tonight. You said it's going to be nice on the road. The Mets and you and Keith could use some good weather on the road.
You think we've had a rough
I think
time
you've had your fill, yeah.
Now,
I'm not too happy with all the extra games you've given us in the middle of the summer.
Are you ever making a road trip this season?
I'm going to wait till June. Because I knew the weather. I read the Poor Richard's Almanac, and they said it was going to be tough, so I said I'll wait till June.
You know, that's what that Yale degree will do for you. Much smarter than being Keith. Marte struck out his first time up. And a slow ground ball. Tejada charging against Marte's speed and throws him out by an eyelash for the second out.
You know, it's interesting. I've seen Russell Martin run down to first. Now Marte on a routine grounder. A little style points there for Tejada and almost cost him. This Pittsburgh team is hustling, running.
So 2 out and nobody on, and now Travis Snyder, who walked after G got ahead of him 0-2 first time up. And a first pitch changeup for a strike. Well, we've documented Dylan G's woes this year, but the interesting bottom line on Dylan this season is he's just pitched way better at home than he has on the road, whether the weather's been hot, cold, or anywhere in between.
Well, I know that I had a conversation with Dylan, and I said, how do you feel? You know, and that question between former pitcher and pitcher is, do you feel like you're close? And he felt like he was close. He said, I'm getting there. I'm definitely getting there. And so far, a quick start tonight.
Well, let me ask you this. When you're dealing with a pitcher whose velocity is down, does that have to change how he pitches?
You know, his fastball was never the kind that was going to throw through hitters and dominate hitters with. But I think the big key for me is that if you start to throw less than you used to throw, then you have to pitch inside more to get them off your breaking pitches away. And he's done that in the first couple of innings. You want to make sure he doesn't get away from it. You know, it's a perfect time. It's 1-2, and you just throw a slow little breaking ball. This is the time to pound one inside. Get Snyder off it. The worst that happens, it's the ball. Then you can go soft again.
Andrew McCutcheon would be next. Instead he goes with the fastball away. He is throwing a little harder tonight, too. Of course, he's working on 7 days rest, so you expect the pitcher to be strong with 3 extra days of rest.
It's like Japanese baseball for the Mets starters so far. They're pitching once a week.
Was that necessitated by all the rainouts combined with scheduled off days? Matt Harvey pitched on the 8th day. So did Jeremy Hefner. And G doing the same tonight. Well, Snyder saw 9 pitches his first at bat. He's already seen 7 pitches this at bat. Again, the 3-2, and he walked him again. So twice in a row, G's gotten ahead on Snyder and lost him. His second walk of the night. Again, McCutcheon to the plate with a man on. McCutchen, a strikeout victim his first time up.
It's going to be interesting. At bat to at bat. McCutchen, an outstanding fastball hitter, was struck out with a fastball in. Last at bat. Will he look in?
Instead, he gets a changeup in, and Buck's going to run it out to the mound.
Well, that was telling right there. That was Dylan G. His arm angle has dropped. John Buck had to see that if I saw it up here, and is addressing it immediately. What happens is when you drop your arm angle, that means you throw more from the side for Dylan. The ball's going to be up in the strike zone and flat. But see that changeup? It's up and flat. You don't want to throw too many of those, especially to this hitter.
Snyder at first. McCutchen takes the pitch high, and it's 2-0. McCutchen slowly but surely has rounded into one of the best players in the National League. It took him a couple of years, and the Pirates were able to have patience with their first round pick. They weren't going anywhere when he first came up in 09. And last year went from 23 home runs the year before to 31. Went from a 259 average to 327. From a 364 on base percentage to 400.
Fastball here away a little late. McCutchen in pulling the trigger because it was middle. The one thing I like when you watch McCutchen, he talks about it all the time. He'll rest his bat on his shoulder. Why? He said it takes the tension out of his arms. Can do it at the very last minute, getting in the hitting position.
I don't see much tension in Andrew McCutchen in general. This guy who just lets it flow. You saw that on the throw he made to second base to get the out on Turner in the last inning. See how he has progressed. And last year, one of the best players in all of baseball. Gee, fishing for that changeup. Still 2-2. Garrett Jones on deck. McCutchen finished third in the MVP balloting last year, trailing only Buster Posey and Ryan Braun. A little better year for the Pirates. He might have won the whole thing. 2-2. Hit sharply, base hit into left center. Snyder will go first to third as Lagares gets it back in, and the Pirates have runners at the corners with 2 down. That's the first Pittsburgh hit of the night.
Well, tries to come in with the fastball, but catches more of the middle of the plate. We talked about it first at bat. He struck out on the ball, middle of the plate in, this time ready for it. And you see that lead runner, Snyder, you see in relation to the baseball, he can see that Lagares is not going to get to it in time. Easy for him to round second base and take third. Good read.
So now a chance for Garrett Jones, who grounded out to first base in the first pitch he saw in the opening inning. First and third and 2 out. And a first pitch changeup off the plate for ball 1. Garrett Jones, a guy who was originally drafted by the Braves. They let him go. He had a brief cup of coffee with the Twins, and he was on the scrap heap when the Pirates picked him up, and he's become a very useful player for Pittsburgh over the last 5 years. G again falls behind 2-0. 27 home runs for Jones last year, 86 RBIs. And a 2-0 changeup misses. And now G's behind 3-0 with Russell Martin looming on deck.
You know, this has been one of the themes for Dan Warthen's crew, especially the starters, is that when they get in a little bit of trouble, they start to nibble. And that's 3 straight changeups here to Garrett Jones, all 3 for balls.
Swinging, taking, strike, 3-1.
And you know what I mean by that? I think that they're not trusting their fastball when they get in key situations. Got to get ahead if you're going to limit the opposition with risk.
There goes McCutchen, and Jones hits it out to left. And there is Brown to pick it off and end the inning. So G works around 2-out trouble in the top of the third. Hangs on to a 1-0 lead. Lots happen on Bleecker Street, not just pizza. Baseball history brought to you by Infinity. Dallas Braden on May the 9th, 2010, threw a perfect game against Tampa Bay. One of 6 perfect games in the last 4 years. There have only been 23 in history.
Tampa Bay had been perfect gamed the year before by Mark Burley.
It's almost 7 in 5 years. Might have been 7 in 5 years if there had been instant replay on plays at first base.
There you go. That's right.
Things don't necessarily go well for pitchers after they pitch perfect games.
But a lesson for all umpires and people in general of fessing up and being a class act. Wasn't he, Jim Joyce?
Well, there's quite a contrast between the way Angel Hernandez reacted last night and the way Jim Joyce reacted when he messed up the call on Galarraga's perfect game. Nice backhand play by Brandon Inge, and he throws out Ruben Tejada to start the home third.
Well, the veteran Inge, we've seen him mostly play third base for the Detroit Tigers in his heyday, but makes that play at second. See how shallow he's playing on Tejada, who does not. What does he do, Gary? Very rarely bunts, but he was playing in, and that made that play a little tougher.
It was Brandon Inge when he first came up as a catcher with the Tigers. Been able to transition and play all over the diamond, filling in at second for Neil Walker right now. Here's Daniel Murphy with 1 out, and he takes a fastball for a strike. That's able to scratch out a run in the second inning on a sacrifice fly by Marlon Byrd. Well, Murphy strikes one foul, but over the last 9 home games coming into today, there's been very little happening offensively for the Mets. They got off to a great start at home, but just 2.4 runs per game over the last 9.
Well, big time drop off in the home runs. 17 in 17 games, but still a lot of that done early.
Murphy grounds one down to Garrett Jones at first. He'll take it himself, and quickly there are 2 out.
Five outs so far, Gary, for Jeff Locke on the ground.
Well, that's his game plan. So now with 2 out, David Wright will step in. Well, we were able to sneak a peek at the Pirate scouting report on David Wright.
Well, David would like to take a sneak a peek at that himself. See approach, what he'll chase. Right-handed pitcher, left-handed pitcher, what they should approach right. Great stuff. And of course that changes, at times.
Sure. I mean, one of the things on there, for instance, says swings 3-0. How often have you ever seen David swing 3-0? Maybe once?
Well, that's all it needs to take. You have one scout here, advanced scout.
Right.
We'll see him swing one time at a 3-0 pitch. That's in the book. He said
Locke working inside 2-1.
On that thing, it said his strength is middle of the plate in, down. But Locke went right after that early in the count. Later in the count, he'll want to go up in the strike zone or down and away. It's like having a hitter who's a first pitch fastball hitter. Likes to swing first pitch. Doesn't mean you can't throw a fastball. Just throw it a little lower. Sink it a little more. You can get a one pitch out.
Now Locke behind on right, 3-1, and doesn't even come close. So David draws a 2-out walk, the 24th walk he's drawn this year. And you wonder at this point, Ronnie, with all the struggles in the Mets offense and nobody really around David swinging the bat well, is there any reason for the opposition to challenge him this time of year?
With all respect to John Buck, who's hitting behind him tonight, if I have a chance not to pitch to David Wright, I'm not going to pitch to him. He's the guy, quintessential guy that you say, do not let him beat you. So you're going to go after Buck. You're going to go after Ike Davis if he's behind David, or Lucas Duda.
Buck hit a hard single to right field his first time up and came in to score the only run in this game. For Buck, it was only his third hit to right field this year. The other two were home runs. We've seen him go to right field with power, not only this year but in the past with the Marlins. But to hit a line drive the other way, that was something very different for John. And he goes the other way again, but this one right at Snyder, and that retires the side. Mets with a walk leave one after 3, 1-0 New York. Game with insider info and exclusive interviews. Plus, hear the latest in New York sports as Chris Carlin and Adam Shine debate the top stories of the day on Loudmouth, presented by Caesars Atlantic City. Now at a new time tomorrow at 5:30, only on SNY.
Let's see AJ Burnett talking to Jeff Locke. That is something that has changed for AJ. You and I were both watching the game where he was interviewed and said, listen, I might not have been the best leader when I was younger, but I'm trying to be better now. That's admirable. It's nice to see.
He's trying to impart the lessons that he ignored when he was a young player.
Well, it happens. It happens, and good for him. that he's being a leader on that young pitching staff.
Russell Martin leading off in the 4th inning and takes a strike. Martin grounded out to short his first time up. Well, AJ has always been a tremendously talented pitcher. You know, we saw that even before he made it to the major leagues, as Martin drives him under right, but right at Marlon Byrd for the first out. Traded away to the Marlins, where he enjoyed instant success on that very young Florida Marlins pitching staff alongside Josh Beckett and Brian Dempster. I mean, they had such tremendous talent on that staff.
You know, there were a lot of people that thought that A.J. Burnett might have had the best stuff on that staff, but did not always use it to the best of his ability. No hitter early in his career. At 140 wins is 140 wins.
The no-hitter when he walked 9, and A.J. has even said, look, I want to throw another no-hitter because that no-hitter was not satisfying because he walked 9 batters. How many pitchers get to say that? Pedro Alvarez takes low. But even as recently as 3-4 years ago when AJ was pitching for the Yankees, he still hadn't matured as a pitcher. And now at age, what is he, 35?
Yeah.
He looks more finally like the finished product. Maybe doesn't throw as hard as he used to, but has learned how to pitch.
I will tell you, it doesn't matter who you are. You play long enough in this game, you're going to have a lot of regrets on some of the decisions you make, whether they're on or off the field. And I'm with you on that one, AJ.
It's been a rough go for Pedro Alvarez. He's kind of been the Pirates' Ike Davis so far this year. Second overall pick out of Vanderbilt in 08. Of course, grew up in the city, went to Horace Mann. Rare curveball from Gene. It's 2-2. He's kind of scrapped that pitch.
Just a show me pitch again. Has not really gone back inside the left-handers and right-handers. Did that once, or tried to, against McCutchen, cost him a single. Maybe here.
Runs that change up inside. It's 3-2. Brandon Inge waiting on deck. Alvarez 0 for his last 15. And he hits one past the mound. Tough play for Murphy on the backhand, and no chance to get Alvarez, who has an infield hit. Didn't hit it hard, just in a good spot.
Well, one of the problems of playing deep that Murphy does is that, yes, he can get to those balls, but by the time he got to that, he would not have had to play it first, despite not coming up with that. Difficult play.
So that's just the second hit off Dylan G. An infield single for Alvarez brings up Brandon Inge, who was hit by a pitch his first time up. Inge, who began the year on the disabled list with a scapula injury. I'm not familiar with my scapula.
No. Yeah. You know what it is? You know, sometimes like between your shoulder blades you have pain there. Have you ever had that? It's usually the right or the left, where that's where that pain comes from.
I'll remember that next time.
There you go.
Boy, my scapula.
I'm just got a sore scapula.
Inge hits a double play ball right to Tejada. Murphy with the easy turn for the 6-4-3 double play. That makes it an easy inning for Dylan G. Middle of the 4th, still 1-0 New York. bobbled it enough times. Cliff Harrell played 59 games with the Mets, which current manager played the most. It's not Bruce Bochy. It's not John Gibbons or Ron Gardenhire. It's Robert Ventura, who was right under our nose yesterday.
444.
3 years as a Met.
You know what game I remember with Clint, though, is when he went over to the Cardinals and he took in at bat against Dwight, and Dwight hit him in the helmet. I don't know if you remember that, Gary. You were probably away at that time in 1987, I believe, maybe a little later. But scary moment. Oh, there's Gardy.
Gibby only played 18 games as a Met.
Amazing, right?
Seemed like he was around a long time, but I guess mostly at the AAA level.
If he hadn't broken his jaw on the last day of spring training in '84, he would have been the #1 catcher.
And maybe Mets never would have traded for Gary Carter. Who knows?
Yeah.
Jeff Lott's allowed a run on 3 hits over the first 3 innings. Justin Turner had one of those hits, but was thrown out trying to stretch it. Marlon Byrd on deck. He has the only RBI tonight. Turner just really swinging the bat well, really seeing the pitch out of the pitcher's hand.
Of all the hitters in the Mets lineup, if I exclude David because he kind of has his own approach, Turner has that approach down, the patiently aggressive.
And he works the count full. Turner went 2 for 2 off the bench last night. A base hit his first time up today. He's reached base now in each of his last 4 plate appearances. And he has his batting average up to .386 for the year. 3-2 leading off the home 4th.
It was probably not a great oxymoron there, patiently aggressive. But what I'm trying to say is that the thing about Turner is that when he does identify a pitch he wants to go after, he lets it fly.
There's no tentative swings, no defensive cuts. And it's inside, and Turner's on base for a 5th straight time. So the Mets get the leadoff man on for the 2nd time against Locke, who's now walked 3, as he did in his last start against the Nats. Now that's really been the lone difficult part of Locke's season so far. He's now walked 19 batters in 36 innings.
Well, both Russell Martin and Locke have not identified that the home plate umpire, Rob Drake, is not going to give them the pitch down and in. They keep going there on a 3-2 pitch to a place that they're not going to get a call. They've got to switch that up if they want to be better.
He hates the Drake. Here's Marlon Byrd, who flied out to right and drove in a run his first time up. 13th RBI for Byrd. Turner at first and nobody out. Byrd takes outside for ball 1.
I said if he wants to be better. I mean, he's only given up 1 run here into the 5th inning, but I'm saying if he wants to walk less people.
Jeff Locke is 25 years old, grew up in New Hampshire, North Conway, New Hampshire. Not too many major leaguers make their way from the Granite State to the big leagues. For one thing, when do you ever get to play baseball? I mean, the baseball season is about 3 weeks long.
Well, that's why he had a great April, 3-1. I mean, you know, bad weather, ready to go. But there's been some good ones.
You know, I thought that Chris Carpenter had the record for most wins for a pitcher from New Hampshire.
I know this because I'm from that area. He's no longer with us either. Who has the most wins?
Well, most starts anyway.
Most starts.
And I think it is most wins also. It's Mike Flanagan.
Yeah.
Of course, Bob Tewksbury was from New Hampshire as well. Grew up in Manchester.
I think Tewksbury now, I'm not sure if he still works for the Red Sox, but he did. But he's kind of a sports psychologist and works with pitchers and hitters. No one did more with less than Bob Tewksbury. Couldn't break a plane of glass, but he was on the corners.
You know, I've often theorized that particularly pitchers from northern climates who don't get to play as much as youngsters might have a better chance for longer careers.
Well, longer careers, and the other thing is that you have to be able to do this as a scout. Their upside might be better than a guy that you see plays 130 games every summer on travel teams.
I think it's harder for a position player to make it from northern climates just because you don't get as many reps. You don't learn the game the same way. Didn't bother Carlton Fisk. Strike 3 called, and Bird is out on strikes. He had a pretty good career. Fisk?
Yes, he did. Now, I always thought that, and you know what? I said he didn't get this call from Rob Drake. Well, he did this time from Marlon Byrd, the veteran who probably thought that Drake wasn't calling that pitch. Caught all the plate, though. I always thought that Carlton Fisk was born in Massachusetts and grew up in New Hampshire.
Yeah, that's right. So 1 out and 1 on. Now Andrew Brown, who walked his first time up. Our crack statistician Dave Freed tells us that since 1990 there have been only 9 players from New Hampshire in the major leagues. Turner at first and 1 out. Mets with a 1-run lead in the 4th. Juan Lagares, the number 8 hitter, waiting on deck. And the changeup off the plate. The ball and strike to Brown. It's getting a little frustrated.
I was thinking about New Hampshire, as you said it. Dartmouth has produced some pretty good major league pitchers.
Mike Remlinger, Pete Broberg,
Jim Beattie.
Yep. Turner has yet to attempt a stolen base this year. Pretty good catcher from Dartmouth, too. Brad Ausmus.
Oh, that's right. Played forever.
Well, he'll be a big league manager one of these days. Just off the plate, and it's 2-1 to Brown. When you played at Yale, who was the best player in the Ivy League besides yourself at that time?
There was a pitcher for Harvard. His name was Brown, Larry Brown. He was also the quarterback of the football team, who was outstanding.
That's a good changeup by Lott. Yeah, it's 2-2 to Brown.
In that league in those days was Army and Navy also that had some good players.
They called it the Eastern Intercollegiate Baseball, IBL.
Otherwise known as Who Wants to Play in the Cold for a while.
Here comes the 2-2, and Brown takes inside. In those days in Columbia, we had a pitcher named Rolando Acosta, who was a great pitcher, but never made it in professional baseball, but he became a judge instead.
Yeah, he's done all right.
Had a good career.
He was outstanding.
Three and 2 with 1 out. See if Turner's running. And he is. And Brown lifts one to right field. Snyder waits for it to come down. And that's the 2nd out. Turner jogs back to first.
Well, congratulations to your Lions. You guys won it all. The baseball kings this year.
Doesn't happen very often. Although they've been program's been kind of rejuvenated. They have Pete Falcone's son on that Columbia team this year. Pete, of course, at one time pitched for the Mets.
I think it's pretty amazing. I think his son had 2 stints in Afghanistan and came back to school, and
26 years old.
One of the leaders of that team.
Here's Juan Lagares, who lined a base hit to left his first time up. Of course, John Franco's son plays for Brown. Lagares chasing that outside fastball, 0-1. Lagares making his 6th start. He's been very impressive playing center field. Right now, if you're an outfielder in the Mets farm system, there is opportunity. There goes Turner. Lagares fouls it at the plate. And Turner trying to steal the base with the number 8 hitter up.
Well, they must have a read on Locke, who's thrown over to Turner at first base a couple of times to keep him close, but really went real early there. Really on Locke's first move. Got a big jump.
Now a 2-strike count to Lagares. And he grounds one to the left side. Barmes circles in and throws him out. And that retires the side. A leadoff walk, but the Mets strand Turner. After 4, still 1-0. Baseball, a good friend, and a slice of pizza. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that.
How about eating the pizza upside down?
It's in New York.
New York, you're full.
You got to fold.
Yeah.
Here's your 5th inning recap presented by Heineken. Dylan G. 4 scoreless innings. Walked a couple, given up 2 hits. Marlon Burns driven to the only run. We go to the 5th with the Mets up 1-0, and we check in with Kevin Burkhardt. Kevin?
Well, Gary, pitching in Vegas. It's not the new sitcom title for SNY, but it's what guys are trying to do in AAA for the Mets this year. We've talked about it, especially its relevance to Zach Wheeler and how his numbers, or anybody's numbers, are affected by pitching out in Vegas where the air is very, very dry. The fields are hard. You know who's doing it well? Colin McHugh. Very well, as a matter of fact. So much so, his ERA is over a full run better than anyone else on that Vegas 51 staff. He's got a 2.29 ERA and 3 starts at home through 7 shutout innings the other day, pitching well. And I talked to him about it. He said, well, starts here. I had a bad spring training. When I got to Vegas, Randy St. Clair, the pitching coach down there, immediately said, hey, we've got to zone in and throw some bullpens here and work on your location. Nothing down the middle of the plate, especially here. He said then it's clearly a mental thing. He said there are certain instances, sure, where you get behind and that's where you get in trouble. You try and get a cookie over and someone hits what should be a fly ball. Next thing you know, it's off the wall for a double. I've seen that happen to Zach Wheeler a few times. That inflates your ERA, but it also inflates your ego. He said, but maybe just as much as that, which no one talks about, the infield is so hard because of the dry temperatures that almost any ground ball has a chance to get through. And that's the real troubling thing. You make a good pitch, ground ball, which would be kind of a regular ground ball in most parks, but it's so hard it zips through, and then you've got yourself a big inning. The key is location. You've got to hit your corners. You've got to stay within yourself. And I asked him about his big curveball, guys. You know, we've seen that as a big weapon for him. I said, what about the curve? Is it similar to, say, Coors Field when that curve does not have the same bite? He said, I don't think it has the same bite here, but that's why it's even more in location, whereas before, maybe you tried to just snap off a really good breaking ball. Here, you take the, maybe not as much depth, but you've got to hit those corners.
You know, that's a great report, Kevin, because, you know, we've talked for years about Coors Field and all the intimidating factors that it presents for a pitcher, and then you go to Las Vegas and you know, you've got the desert air, and so it's even drier and makes it that much more difficult.
I think one of the things that you really have to kind of play mind games with, Gary, is just two things. One, don't worry about your ERA. It's going to be higher there than someplace else, although the Kevin's report McHugh's is down. And the second thing is, if you do tend to have a bad inning early, stay with it, because your team's going to score runs also with that type of atmosphere.
Barmes hooks one through the hole, and he has himself a base hit. Barmes just reaching out and flicking it, and he's got himself a leadoff hit. The Pirates' third.
Barmes is always a kind of a front foot hitter anyways. That toe tap gets full. Nice position of that breaking ball by G. Got to give the hitter credit.
So Jeff Locke will come up to try to bunt him over. Locke grounded out his first time up. So Ronnie, what you just said is kind of a big picture view from the way a pitcher has to approach it mentally. But what about the small picture approach of how you execute your pitches with a ball that may feel different and a breaking ball that's harder to throw?
Yeah, I never pitched in Coors Field. I didn't pitch in too many high altitude places, but I do know what you're saying, and what you can do from a pitching standpoint. You can use your breaking ball in situations, Gary, where they can't be swinging at it. When does that mean? First pitch of an at bat. So even though you might throw a bad one or it doesn't break off or snap off, they've got to take it because they're looking for fastballs, so you get a freebie strike. Those are the kind of things that you can do with your breaking ball. And when you get ahead and you want to go to that breaking ball, if you don't think it's going to break as much, then you got to bounce it and see if they'll swing over the top. So just like Kevin's report with Colin, being precise on where you throw that will make you a better pitcher.
Locke gets the bunt down. G makes the play to first. 1-4 on the sacrifice, moving Barmes to second. SNY Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. He was safe.
You know, Ronnie, it's interesting to hear you say that, because right from the get-go, the Mets linked up with Vegas. All the talk was, oh, man, the pitching numbers are going to be up. How's it going to affect Wheeler? But listening to what Randy St. Clair talked to McHugh about that location, it's almost an excuse to make sure you get better at it. And from what you just said, instead of the opposite of you mentally making your shot, maybe it can make you a more precise pitcher, especially for a guy like McHugh who's not a power guy.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good thing for Colin.
There's Starling Marte, who's 0 for 2.
But Kevin, you show me a pitcher, they'll find a complaint with any park they pitch in. So that's how it goes.
Let me ask you an odd question. When you pitch in difficult conditions like Vegas or like Colorado, is there any problem, you think, adjusting, coming back to more normal conditions, better humidity, sea level?
I think it's almost like you get a birthday present every time you come back down from a place that has that rarefied air. It's just, you come in the bullpen, you throw, and you go, wait a minute, boy, that's really snapping today. So yes, it can make you have to make sure that you're aware of that adjustment when you get on the mound.
Like an oxygen drunk.
There you go.
G ahead on Marte 0-2 with Barmes at second and 1 out. And the curveball, this is inside.
I'll leave you one more thought about Vegas from a hitter's perspective. I was talking to Andrew Brown, of course, just got here the other day from Vegas, and he said, you know, I agree with Colin McHugh that the field is so, I've seen them soak the field 20 minutes for the game, and it just evaporates. It's so arid out there. He said playing there is kind of like playing in a giant hairdryer. It's hot, muggy breeze all day long.
Struck him out. On the ball in the dirt, Buck checks the runner at second and throws out Marte. Third strikeout for G. Put out goes 2-3.
Well, good breaking pitch. Let's see if Marte follows this ball the entire way. Boy, almost closes his eyes as he swings over the top of that breaking ball. Good job by Buck, although with the backhand there, could become dangerous.
Something we've seen a lot with John. He's a terrific game caller, but on those balls in the dirt, he will not always get himself in good position to block the ball and instead rely on the short hop. Here's Snyder, who's walked twice, and he takes below the knees. And I wonder if that's any of that is a consequence of the fact that Buck has been played so heavily through the course of the early part of this season.
Well, I think he's had more time off than he probably would have because of the scheduling problems and the weather. But I think it's more a little Achilles heel of his game. Is that he's very good with the backhand, and that's the catch-22 for him, because all it takes is one time for that pitch that is a good pitch from the pitcher, gets the hitter out and the strikeout, and it goes back to the backstop. So.
Popped up as Murphy tracks it. Side retired. So G works around a leadoff hit. 5 scoreless for G tonight. We're halfway through at Citi Field with the Mets up 1-0. TV, the ultimate blog network featuring a continuous flow of sports news straight from the best New York sports blogs. SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports. It's an unlikely combination. Dylan G leads off for the Mets in the home 5th inning. Dylan flied out to right his first time up. Facing Jeff Locke. That's got all 3 of their hits and their only run in the 2nd inning. Locke, though, has walked 3 while striking out only 1, so he's made his life a little more difficult as G pokes one down the right field side foul. And it's 0-2.
For Locke now in the season, 19 walks and 20 strikeouts. I mean, the worst you want that is 2-1. 3-1 outstanding, and you get to the 4-1 guys. Those are the elite pitchers.
G pops it up, and Jones, the first baseman, comes down to call in fair territory, 1 away. Well, Locke had a so-so start against the Nats his last time out, but his 2 prior starts in Philly and in St. Louis, he threw 13 scoreless innings. And when you do that in St. Louis against that lineup, that's it's a sign that you might be onto something.
Well, it's interesting that he's originally with the Braves. He throws a little bit like Mike Minor, doesn't he? Maybe not as sharp as stuff, of course.
Not quite as hard as mine. Now Locke faces Ruben Tejada, who's flied out and grounded out tonight, 0 for 2. The Mets continue to try to do some damage with minimal offense. They were able to win a 1-0 game on Tuesday night. Last night scored just 3 runs in their loss to the White Sox, and here they are with only 1 run through 4 1/3 tonight. Mets began the season with a bonanza of runs. They were leading the National League in runs scored through the first couple of weeks of the season, but that has very much leveled off. And it's no secret what has to happen for this team to start scoring. They need for their big guys to begin driving in runs.
I mean, when you talk about Lucas Duda, who's sitting tonight, you know, you say there's been 7 home runs, but not a lot of RBIs and a low batting average. Ike, of course, we've talked about. He's having a similar season to last year. So it's kind of been David Wright and whoever else is hot that night. And I should include Buck. Yeah. Sorry.
And while you certainly expect there to be pitching reinforcements for this team as the year goes along, because the pipeline has begun with all the young starters in the Mets farm system. Other than Travis d'Arnaud, who's, you know, sitting out with a broken foot right now, there really isn't a lot of position player talent bubbling up at the top levels of the farm system ready to save the day. Well, Tejada is in his groove right now. He's got a 3-2 count. Not this time. Locke takes care of him with the changeup. Just the second strikeout for Jeff Locke. 2 out of the inning.
Well, that was his best changeup all night. Not only location, but also took a lot off that pitch. Almost like he changed up on his changeup.
So 2 out and nobody on for Daniel Murphy, who's been up twice and both times has rolled out to the first baseman. The Mets 1 run and 3 hits. The Pirates no runs and 3 hits. Murphy, the only left-handed bat in the lineup for the Mets tonight. You see the career highs across the career of Daniel Murphy. In 2009, he led the Mets in home runs with 12.
David had 10 that year.
That was the year he got hit in the head and missed a significant portion of the season. 2-1 to Murphy. Boy, that seems like a long time ago.
That does, right?
And Murphy grounds another one down to Jones. 3 at bats, 3 ground outs to the first baseman, and Locke has his second 1-2-3 inning of the night. 5 in the books now at Citi Field. 1-0 New York. the 6th. Now he must face the heart of the Pirates batting order. McCutchen, Jones, and Martin in the 6th. McCutchen has one of the 3 Pirate hits, a single to left center in the 3rd, and attacks the first pitch and fouls it off. So for Dylan G, with a lot of extra rest heading into this start and not a whole lot of success under his belt this season, this has been a very refreshing start so far. And McCutchen greets the 6th inning with a base hit, his 2nd of the night. Now remember, the 6th inning at times has been G's downfall this year. He was working on a shutout a couple of starts back and was ambushed in the 6th. Well, look at that guy doing the crossword puzzle.
That's Max. When I first came to the Mets in '83, the entire team did the New York Times crossword puzzle. That was, you know how some teams play chess or play cards? It was a crossword puzzle in those years.
But in a collaborative fashion or individually? And it wasn't competitive.
It was competitive and individual. Yeah, no collaboration. You know, if you were stumped and you were done, then maybe.
Now you
what you get on 21 down.
You had Seaver on the team at that time.
He was the crack guy. He was the best. He'd let you know too.
Garrett Jones is 0 for 2, grounded out and flied out. Now you know this, but the real aficionados, the Sunday New York Times crossword puzzle is great.
Saturday
is where it's at.
That entire team would know the name Eugene T. Maleska. Not many people would know that.
Now it would be little shorts. Jones takes a strike. Garrett Jones is grounded out and flied out 0 for 2.
You were mentioning quickly, Gary, there. That is true. His last start, 70 pitches. Start before that, 83. You know, you really have to watch Dylan in these circumstances. You might prematurely get a reliever up because things can tend to get away from him very quickly.
Well, he has not thrown 100 pitches in a start this year. His high has been 98. And, you know, we've seen this before with Dylan, that after 5 good innings, all of a sudden things start to desert him in the 6th. And a little surprised that Terry and Dan don't have somebody up in the bullpen right now, just in case. This is the inning where Dylan loses his feel a little bit. 1-1 to Jones. And he fouls off that fastball. And you see the fastball, which was 91 early on, is now more like 88.
Can't argue with that line so far, though. Outstanding. I'd have to say his best start of the year.
Now ahead on Garrett Jones, 1-2. Change up away, 2-2.
From the stretch, you can see his motion, just looking at the runner at first, then proceeding to the plate. And that changeup just coming out of his hand a little too quick, releasing it too soon.
McCutchen on his way. Jones grounds one through the hole, a base hit. McCutchen will go first to third, and just like that, the Pirates have the runners at the corners with nobody out.
Well, McCutchen on first. Murphy's in double play depth. Turner's holding the runner. McCutchen on. That opens up an awfully big hole as that ball goes through. Nice read by McCutchen. Stealing, looking in, identifying and picking up the baseball. And with that great speed, he can cruise into third base.
Dan Warthen visiting the mound. While he does, we'll check in with Gary Apple in the studio with this game break. And that report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealer, and Brandon Lyon quickly to work in the Mets bullpen as trouble has found Dylan G in the 6th inning. It was 2 starts back against the Phillies that Dylan threw 5 scoreless innings. Then the roof caved in on him at about 11 pitches in the 6th. And that was his night. Let's see if he can survive it this time with a very tenuous 1-0 lead. First and third and nobody out. Russell Martin up.
They'll trade the double play for the tying run to score. Absolutely.
Martin is grounded to short and lined to right, 0 for 2. And a first pitch slider off the plate for ball 1.
Got to watch out with Martin in RBI situations. Murphy's hugging the bag at second base. As you see McCutcheon on third and Garrett Jones at first. Opens up an awfully big hole between first and second base. RBI situations. Martin tends to want to go that way. You're going to pitch him away.
Runners in scoring position has been an Achilles heel for the Pirates this year. They're hitting just .212 as a team, and Martin just 3 for 20 with runners in scoring position this season. But a big opportunity here for the Pirates to cash in with G behind in the count 2-0. And Martin gets a 2-0 changeup. Not what he was hoping for.
Well, Martin trying to go for the downs here. 2-0. A little uppercut. Trying to put the Pirates ahead.
Pedro Alvarez waits on deck. Six home runs, just 11 RBIs for Martin. And that just missed. G wanted it. 3-1.
Fastball starts in the inside corner, but you see that movement just runs it inside and off the plate.
Ball by Rob Drake. And now G behind 3-1, and Martin swings over the top of it, 3-2. So G not giving in on 3-1.
Well, that's a good pitch to throw. That's that little cutter slider he throws down. We saw it earlier. Brandon Inch pulled it into a double play.
Well, you got Garrett Jones at first, very slow runner. 3-2 count on Martin, nobody out. 100th pitch of the night now for G. Runner not going, and Martin fouls it off. So G gets to 100 pitches for the first time this season. And you have to speculate that this would be his last batter. Again, the 3-2 to Martin. And he hits him to load the bases. So Martin, who wears that big elbow guard, is hit by the pitch. Second batter G's hit tonight to load him up.
Well, we saw a couple seasons ago, and that's a changeup coming out of his hands. Hits him right in the guard on his elbow.
So G finds trouble in the sixth and can't retire a batter in the inning. He'll leave with a 1-0 lead. The call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon Fios. Brandon Lyon comes in to try and put out the fire. We'll be right back. 6th. And he departs in favor of Brandon Lyon with the bases loaded and nobody out.
Well, there'll be some heavy lifting for Brandon Lyon here, but he's coming into a situation facing a couple of hitters. Alvarez is a guy who strikes out a lot, although he's got great power, and Inge has already hit into a double play on deck.
McCutchen, Jones, and Martin the base runners. Murphy and Tejada at second and short, playing at double play depth, so they'll concede a run to try and get 2 outs. And Alvarez swings and misses, 0-1. Alvarez had an infield hit his last time up, which snapped an 0 for 15 stretch. He's hitting just 146 with runners in scoring position this year.
You can see up the middle, like you said, Gary, double play depth. David way off the line. Hugging the line is Turner.
And Alvarez pops it up, not very deep to center. McCutchen, though, has great speed at third, so he'll tag. And Lagares gets behind the throw, but McCutchen in to score the tying run. Sacrifice fly for Pedro Alvarez, and the game is even at 1.
Interesting. They were calling for that pitch up in the strike zone. He threw it up, and it cost him a run. Pretty good arm there by Lagares. Jones wasn't going anywhere. As soon as the ball was up, he knows that McCutchen is going to probably score because of the depth of the throw. He's thinking about tagging, but he doesn't have any speed. And good job by Lagares hitting the cutoff man.
So it's a 1-1 ball game, 2 on and 1 out. And Brandon Inge, the batter. Inge has been hit by a pitch and grounded into a double play. And the slider bounced by Lyon, and a good job by Buck that time to knock it down and keep the runners from moving up.
Well, that was perfect by John. He covered it after getting down and blocking that pitch.
The Mets lost a game in Miami on the last road trip on a wild pitch by Lyon in the 9th inning. Anthony Recker was behind the plate for that one. And Inge pops it up. Infield fly rule will be called as Murphy camps under it. Batter is out. 2 away. So Lyon gets a couple of outs, and now we'll take on the number 8 hitter Clint Barmes. Barmes had a base hit to left field his last time up, 1 for 2, and he's got good career numbers against Lyon, 5 out of 14. There was a time when they were both playing in the National League West, Barmes for Colorado and Lyon for Arizona.
Remember his last at bat, he hit a slider off his shoe tops away in between Wright and Tejada. He's going to see a lot of cutters, sliders from Lions.
Gee, an interested spectator. Those are his runners on base with 2 out and 2 on. And Barmes takes a strike. Pitcher Jeff Locke is out on deck. There's nobody throwing in the Pirates bullpen, so it looks like Clint Hurdle is locked into having Locke hit, no matter what the circumstances after Barmes is at bat. I mean, if Locke were to walk in this situation, it's not likely now with a 0-2 count. Wouldn't you want to have a pitcher ready in case you want to pinch hit?
I'd have a guy soft tossing right now just in case, so that I would have the chance with bases loaded, despite having 2 outs, to take a shot at the lead.
I mean, you're probably only going to get 1 more inning out of Locke anyways at 84 pitches, but nobody throwing in the Pirates bullpen. 0-2 now to Barmes. Breaking ball, grounded slowly. Tejada's got to wait for it. Now the quick throw, and he got him by a step to end the inning. So Lyon comes in, does a great job minimizing the damage. Just the 1-run scores, and the Mets have the heart of the batting order coming up in the bottom of the 6th in a 1-1 game. by Brandon Lyon in that 6th inning.
You can't ask for anything more than to just give up that 1 run with the bases loaded and no outs. Fine pitching by Lyon. A nice evening by Dylan G.
So the Mets will set about trying to regain the lead in the bottom of the 6th. Wright, Buck, and Turner 3, 4, and 5 in the batting order. David's 0 for 1 tonight, grounded out and walked against Jeff Locke, who's now retired 6 straight. He's walked 3, struck out 2, allowed just a run on 3 hits. All 3 of those hits coming in the 2nd inning. Mets might have had more in that inning, but Justin Turner was called out at second base on a bang play, trying to stretch a single into a double. And Wright drives one to left field. Marte moving back, and he makes the catch. A bullet by Wright, but Marte with good speed to get back there and make what turned out to be an easy play.
Boy, that is a double against anyone. I mean, this was a laser to left center. He made this play look easy.
They have got tremendous speed in the outfield with Marte in left and McCutchen in center. We've seen the outfield play pay off for the Pirates already tonight. McCutchen making that good throw to get Turner back in the 2nd. So here's Buck, who's hit the ball to right field twice tonight. Hard both times, a single and a line out. This time he pulls one foul. Nothing in 2 to Buck.
Well, you can see the outfielders. Marte's just got terrific speed, great defensive player. McCutchen's got the entire package. And we showed you earlier in the game the catch by Snyder and what he can do. It's a pretty strong outfield.
May not have the speed of the other 2, but he has the Spider-Man skills. Yeah. Buck just got a piece of that changeup. Still 0-2. Justin Turner hitting 5th in the order tonight, waiting on deck. Ball 2 strikes to Buck. John's approach all night has been to hit the ball to right field. See if he changed the game plan here his 3rd time up. And Locke tempting him outside. He laid off 2-2. And he gets him with a fastball away. 3rd strikeout of the night for Jeff Locke. 2 out and nobody on. Let's check in with Gary Apple back in the studio to see what's coming up tonight on Geico Sports Night.
Gary, thanks so much. Coming up tonight, going to have Rays Jays highlights. R.A. Dickey on the bump for Toronto and pivotal Game 5, the Islanders and the Penguins. We'll see you guys coming up tonight.
Dickey against Price tonight. Only the 3rd time that the 2 reigning Cy Young Award winners have faced each other in a regular season game.
And neither of them has gotten out of the gate at all this season.
Turner has singled and walked tonight. The only other times it happened in '99, Tom Glavine against Roger Clemens. They had each won it the year before. And in '89, Nets Frank Viola against Oral Hershiser after Viola came over in the midseason trade with the Twins. That was before interleague play.
Yeah.
Two and 1 to Turner. Justin's been on base each of his last 5 plate appearances. A single and a walk tonight. And takes a borderline strike, 2-2. It's Not often you see the manager on the phone.
Yeah, right. Letting the bullpen coach know certain situations who he wants up. It's one of those either or kind of phone calls. Keith would be very happy with the charts that they have, color coordinated and all.
They're very neat.
Pirate dugout.
Very, very neat. Turner lifts one out to right, and Snyder's right there waiting for it. So Jeff Lock's now retired 9 in a row, and we are through 6 at Citi Field. Mets and Pirates locked to the run apiece. Mother's Day brunch before the Mets Pirates game at 1:10 p.m. Your game ticket includes a Mother's Day brunch, a Mets t-shirt, and Matt Harvey. Buy your tickets at Mets.com/Mets brunch. Jose Tabata has been battling a hamstring injury. He'll bat for Jeff Locke as we go to the 7th inning, and Brandon Lyons spins one outside. Locke's not a successful one. He gets the handshake.
6 solid innings by Locke, and he was throwing better in that 6th inning than he was earlier in the game.
Retired his last 9 batters. Tabata laces a base hit into left field, and the Pirates get the leadoff man on in the 7th. Tony Watson, the left-hander, gets up in the Pittsburgh bullpen. They have had a superb bullpen so far this year.
Don't give them the lead late, I'll tell you that.
The bullpen is anchored by the Seton Hall product Jason Grilli in his first year as a major league closer, and he's being set up by Mark Melanson, who's been just as good. Each of them has an ERA of about a half a run per game. So Lyon will set about trying to prevent the Pirates from taking the lead here in the 7th. Starling Marte, the batter. No hint of a bunt, and he takes a strike. Marte's 0 for 3 tonight. 2 strikeouts and a ground ball. Scott Rice is up in the bullpen. You have the left-hand batting Travis Snyder on deck. Lyon got 3 huge outs to end the 6th inning after entering with the bases loaded. Pirates got a run on a sacrifice fly, then he got a pop up and a ground out to get the Mets through that 6th without falling behind. Tabata, as we mentioned, had a hamstring injury. I don't know how frisky he's going to be on the base paths. Just came back and pinch hit yesterday, his first action in a week. And now Marte bunting on the second pitch. Lyon bare hands it, and Turner picks it up for the out. Sack goes 1-3, moving Tabata to second.
I honestly really loved that play because it gave him a pitch to hit, see what he could do with it. Once he took a strike, then laid down the perfect bunt.
And didn't miss beating it out by all that much.
Barehanded, didn't get a great grip on it, but Lyon sent it to first anyway. Stretched by Turner.
Now Terry Collins comes out. He's going to make a double switch. He'll bring Scott Rice into the game to face the left-hand hitter Travis Snyder. So a pitching change here in the 7th after Lyon goes an inning and a third in relief. Rice will be the next man on for the Mets.
Now in at first base as Justin Turner switched out of there. Scott Rice making his 19th appearance of the year. That's second in the National League. I talked to him about that, about all this work. His career high is 58 games in the minor leagues. He said, you know, as a starter, I always got sore. Once I turned reliever, though, I stopped using ice, and I didn't get sore anymore. This winter and winter ball, I either pitched or warmed up in every single game our team played like that. The key for me is not throwing too many warm-up pitches. I throw 4 to 6 fastballs in the bullpen, and I watch. If the situation unfolds, I'll rip off 2 sliders out there, and then I use those 8 pitches out here very effectively. Gary.
Gabby Sanchez to pinch hit, hits the first pitch in the air to left field, and Brown has it lined up. And so Rice throws 1 pitch to the net killer Gabby Sanchez and gets him on a fly ball out for the second out.
Oh, it's pitch up in the strike zone. Good pitch to hit, and you see Tabata got off the bag, no even thinking of tagging because the left fielder Brown under it pretty easily. And remember, Tabata, as Gary said, nursing that hamstring injury, might not be 100%.
Now the Mets will intentionally walk Andrew McCutchen, and this was the game plan when they brought Rice into the game to try and get Snyder, and then as it turned out, Sanchez, the pinch hitter, out, and then with the open base walk McCutchen, and then you get the left-hand hitter Garrett Jones. So far it's worked out exactly the way Terry had planned. Now the key is, can Rice get the left-hand hitter out? Jones tonight 1 for 3 at a hit-and-run single his last time up that helped build the only Pirate run of the night.
Jones has only had 3 at-bats versus left-handed pitching this year with a hit.
They do have 3 right-handed bats on the bench, but they opt not to go that way. So Jones stays in to face Rice. Pirates 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position tonight. Well, that's one big sigh of relief getting Gabby Sanchez in that spot. Gabby's a .325 lifetime hitter against the Mets. So many big RBIs when he was with the Marlins. Slider for a strike from Rice. 0-1 to Jones.
He was always expected to him to get a hit in a big situation.
Tabata at second. McCutchen at first with 2 down. 1-1 game in the 7th. And Rice gets that slider over for a strike, and it's 0-2.
Very nice by Scott Rice so far. Getting ahead of the hitter Jones. See if he can put him away. Buck has to be alert now. This is where Rice tends to want to bounce that changeup.
Struck him out on the pitch in the dirt. Buck slaps the tag on Jones. Big time job by Scott Rice to come out of the bullpen and get 2 huge outs in the 7th to keep it a 1-1 game. Field as we go to the bottom of the 7th, and the 27-year-old left-hander Tony Watson on the pitch for the Pirates.
Well, at the University of Nebraska, he had an outstanding season last year, appearing in 68 games for the Bucks, going 5-2 with a pretty good ERA so far this year, an indifferent start.
Well, Clint Hurdle opted to bat for Travis Snyder, left-hand hitter, but opted to leave Garrett Jones in to face Scott Rice, and you see the lefty-righty splits for Jones over his career.
Just not working in his favor, but Hurdle took a chance.
That was an inning that very much worked in Terry Collins' favor as far as getting the matchups he wanted. Of course, the key was Rice getting the right-hand hitter Sanchez out, which he was able to do. Marlon Byrd now leads off in the 7th against Watson. Byrd has driven in the only Met run tonight with a sac fly and has a good cut at that fastball and fouls it back. Jeff Locke went 6 innings, 1 run, 3 hits, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 97 pitches, matching his season high, and a no decision for him. And Tony Watson's University of Nebraska teammate Andrew Brown is on deck. Byrd pops one foul back and out of play, 0-2. How often the Cornhuskers meet in the big leagues? I mean, in the NFL, yes, but not often in the major league.
Well, Watson's got good stuff. He occasionally loses a little bit of his control, but throws awfully hard for a left-hander out of the bullpen.
Watson in his third year with the Pirates, 68 games last year, 53 innings, only 37 hits. That's how hard he is to hit. Third takes it low. 2-2. Troy Hawkins, whose season is really rounding into form, getting ready in the Mets bullpen. And as he's pitched better, he's getting a little more responsibility with each out.
His slider has gotten better. His pitching has gotten better right along with it.
Birds work the count to 2-2. And Marlin hits one past the mound. Coming in as Barmes to field it awkwardly, but throws him out. One away. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealer. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2013 models. By State Farm, today's State Farm agent of the game is Pat Cauley of Glendale, New York. Contact Pat's office at patcauley.com. And by Diet Mountain Dew. Yeah, it tastes that good. Husker versus Husker. Brown has had one career at bat against Watson, 0 for 1. Brown looking for his first hit as a Met, now 0 for 7. Takes it wide for ball 1. Andrew Brown grew up in Texas in the Dallas area. I asked him about how's your high school football team. He said terrible.
Oh, really?
He said he played on the freshman team his freshman year, but that was the end of his football career. And he takes one the other way for his first hit as a Met. So going up against his old Nebraska teammate, Brown has an opposite field single, and he's on the board.
Well, nice hitting by Brown here. Pitch right on the corner, but goes that way. Very similar to the hit that John Buck had earlier in the game, driving that ball to right.
So the Mets have the tie-breaking run at first and 1 out. Now Juan Lagares, who's 1 for 2 tonight.
Double play depth up the middle, shaded him to right field in the outfield. It'll be interesting, Gary, shaking up this lineup. Brown has a hit and a walk in this game. Lagares a hit, and maybe looking for a big hit here.
Mike Davis is batting 9th in the order in the double switch. He's out on deck. And Lagares with a good rip fouls it back. We found another University of Nebraska matchup for you.
Okay.
Alex Gordon, Jabba Chamberlain.
Oh, okay.
The crack staff, by the way, is right on top of the world tonight.
Crack staff, yeah.
It's almost I can read his handwriting. Always a challenge. Late swing, foul. That rifles into the photo box.
That had to be close to our man, Kevin. Are you all right down there, buddy?
Bars here, save me.
Really? I mean, I knew it was going right near you.
Yeah.
Well, didn't take out your coffee, so you're in good shape.
Need to get Kevin a glove or a mask. 0-2 to Lagares. And time asked for. Here's your Rowdy Mets box score. Marlon Byrd has driven the only run for the Mets tonight with a sacrifice fly. The Mets have been held to just 4 hits tonight. Watson ahead of the count 0-2, and he runs one inside, 94 miles an hour. The ball in 2 strikes. The ancient right-hander Jose Contreras is up in the Pirates bullpen.
Should go to Seattle, and then you really got a nickname.
Here's the 1-2. Lagares fouls it off. How old do you suppose Jose Contreras is?
I would say that he's 39 years old. Jack Benny.
You're talking about book age or actual?
I'm going Jack Benny age.
Lagares hanging in there. Here's the 1-2, and he gets him with a high fastball. So Watson takes care of Lagares for the second out. The book on Contreras says 41.
Okay.
Now he could actually be 39, but I don't think that was what I was implying. So now Davis, who didn't start the game, came in on a double switch. I talked to Ike today. He was very happy with the way his night went last night, despite the 0 for 4. You know, it's about process, not results.
Yeah.
He said, if that ball I hit 407 feet to center field had gone out, everybody would be talking about what a great night I had. And, you know, Dwayne Wise made a great catch against the fence to rob him of an extra base hit. Looked bad on that first pitch breaking ball by Watson, and it's 0-1. But Ike says he's handling his troubles this year a lot better than he handled them last year. And maybe that will help him break the spell sooner. He drives this one deep to right center field, headed back toward the wall, and that ball is off the base of the fence. Here comes Brown around third. He comes in to score. Ike Davis with an RBI double puts the Mets in front 2-1. That much closer to breaking the spell.
But whatever Ike is doing to deal with it, keep it going. Great at bat here after looking a little silly on that first pitch. Slider gets a fastball out over the middle of the plate and drives it with that tremendous power that he has. I thought that McCutchen was going to try to ruin the day there for a second, like Wise did 2 days ago. But Brown, of course, has got enough speed to score on that double once McCutchen dove after that baseball.
I was amazed McCutchen got as close to that ball as he did. When that ball first went up, it looked like he had no chance to even have a prayer for it. But as it turns out, Davis winds up with a double and an RBI to put the Mets in front.
You know, off the bat, it was a short double, and as he kept running, I said, boy, what if he makes this play? Just couldn't get there.
So the Mets back in front, and now Ruben Tejada, who's 0 for 3 tonight, flied out, grounded out, and struck out. Ruben hitting .370 with runners in scoring position. And he hits it down the right field side, a foul ball. Tejada had an RBI single in the 9th inning last night. Right fielder Tabata playing very, very shallow. It would be hard for Davis to score on a base hit to right field.
You know, I was just thinking, Gary, occasionally this happens to a player. That's happened a couple times for us up here in the booth thinking about it. There's that one at bat that you can point to where it turns everything for a player. Maybe on the evening of May 9th off Tony Watson might be that turning point for Ike.
Hit the ball with an authority that we have not often seen in the first 6 weeks of the season. You know, we've talked all season about hitters and their two-strike approaches. Nobody on this ball club with a better two-strike approach than Tejada. Mets over the first 30 games of this season struck out more times than they have in any 30-game stretch in their history. A lot of that is because the approach with 2 strikes is the same as the approach earlier in the count. Not so with Tejada.
Ruben was quoted. He said that I have 3 chances to put the ball in play. I treat each one equally. But you're right, Gary. With 2 strikes, he has an ability to foul pitches off, take close pitches.
There's no panic.
Yeah.
Again, the 2-2. Slow ground ball. Barmas on the charge. And makes the play on Tejada to end the inning. But the Mets regain the lead. Ike Davis in his first at bat of the night. Driving one to the gap in right center field. Beyond the reach of McCutchen. Chasing Brown home with the go-ahead run. And it's 2-1 New York as we go to the 8th. Peg Youth League recover from the storm with a $5,000 grant. If you're in a league from the tri-state area in need of assistance, apply for the SNY Play Bowl Award presented by New York Community Bank at facebook.com/SNY. So Troy Hawkins on to try and protect the lead in the 8th inning.
Well, the Pirates have been perfect in the 8th and 9th innings. The Mets are going to try to emulate that tonight. Hawkins has gotten better as the season has gone along and warmed up.
Worked a scoreless 8th inning last night. Comes back in to pitch tonight against Russell Martin. He's 0 for 2. He's also been hit by a pitch tonight. Martin, then Pedro Alvarez and Brandon Inge scheduled for the Pirates in the 8th. Martin said 1 ball hard tonight. He lined out to right field in the 4th. Alvarez, dangerous hitter on deck, has the only RBI for Pittsburgh tonight. Pittsburgh 1 run 6 hits. The Mets 2 runs 5 hits. As Hawkins throws a slider away, and it's 1-1. Quick pitch there.
Yeah, he does that probably once or twice an inning.
Two and 1 to Russell Martin, and it's fouled back. well-traveled LaTroy Hawkins, who pitched last year for the Angels. Probably happy he's not there now, getting embarrassed with the rest of that team. 11-22 now.
Yeah, their worst start after 33 games. Franchise history.
Hard hit, but right at Tejada. And he throws out Martin one away. So 1 out and nobody on. Let's check in with the studio. Gary Apple standing by with this game break. Had it all the way.
Wow.
Here's Pedro Alvarez. An infield hit in the 4th, a sacrifice fly in the 6th, 1 for 2 on the night. Pedro, who always has a lot of family on hand when the Mets host the Pirates, takes outside for ball 1. Pedro now 26 years old. It was the 08 draft that he was the number 2 overall pick. 30 home runs last year. And he hits this one in the air to deep right center. Back goes Bird looking up, and this game is tied. Pedro Alvarez with his 6th home run of the year gets the Pirates even. It's 2-2. Well, no matter how much he's struggling, he has so much natural power. Always a danger spot in the Pirates batting order.
Well, potential and power. Doesn't always reach the number 1 potential, but always, like you said, has just incredible power.
So the Pirates have tied it up for the 2nd time. And now Brandon Inge steps in.
Just the fastball got behind, came right to him, and launched.
2nd home run LaTroy Hawkins has given up this season. So Alvarez has driven in both Pittsburgh runs.
Nope. When it makes that sound, no need to watch. Although Hawkins does.
You never get used to that, do you?
No.
LaTroy's now given up 152 major league home runs. I bet he's suffered through every one. Strikes out Inge on 3 pitches with the 2nd out. Now the Mets bullpen has had its moments, but it still continues to struggle as a unit. 3rd from the bottom in the National League in ERA. And that's an important figure. Strikeouts per 9 innings. You ask your bullpen to be overpowering, but the Mets don't have an overpowering bullpen. Last in the league in strikeouts.
I mean, you want out of your bullpen to be almost 1-to-1. You know, a strikeout every inning.
Clint Barmes rifling one foul. And, you know, we've seen the last couple of nights with the White Sox and the power arms they bring in. The Pirates have the same kind of bullpen. Mark Melanson, who's been tremendous in the 8th inning, getting ready for Pittsburgh and their bullpen. Barmes 1 for 3 on the night. He takes the fastball, a ball and a strike. Barmes 0 for 2 in his career against Hawkins. Foul tip, 1-2. Jose Taveras in the 9 hole. He would be next if Barmes keeps the inning alive. Now the 1-2, another quick pitch, and it's in there for a call, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Hawkins after Pedro Alvarez ties the game. His 6th home run of the year over the bullpen in right center field. Impressive home run by Alvarez gets Pittsburgh even for the 2nd time. It's 2-2 in the 8th. special year so far for the Pirates.
Well, he has, and who he was traded for, Boston, Joel Hanrahan, went on the 60-day disabled list. So a good transaction there for the Pirates.
Melanson, who started his career with the Yankees, went to Houston. Really struggled with Boston last year, but could not be much better than he's been so far, as he and Jason Grilli have teamed up to form an unhittable tandem at the end of games. Mets will have 2, 3, and 4 in the order coming up at the bottom of the 8th after Pedro Alvarez's home run tied it in the top of the inning. Murphy's been up 3 times, has grounded out to the first baseman all 3. Jeff Locke went the first 6 for Pittsburgh, allowed a run on 3 hits. Tony Watson allowed the go-ahead run in the 7th. And now Melanson pitching the 8th. And he starts Murphy off with a fastball strength. That's in 1-run games are 3 and 6. The Pirates are 2 and 5, which is surprising considering how well their bullpen has fared this year. Murphy with the kind of defensive cut we have not seen a lot of this year.
Well, we saw the pitching from Jeff Locke earlier. A lot of fastballs down and in. Here it's a little slider down and in from Melanson. Trying to work that bottom of the strike zone inside on Murphy.
Breaking ball in the dirt. Mark Melanson out of the University of Arizona. One, 2 to Murphy. 2 and 2. Lucas Duda looming in the tunnel. 2-2. And Murphy works the count full. 3-2 from Melanson to Murphy. Grounded down to first again. It's been a shuttle service between Murphy and Jones tonight. 4 ground balls to the first baseman. SNY Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. One out and nobody on. Here's David Wright. David's 0 for 2 tonight. He walked in the 3rd. Last time up, he had a bullet to left field that Marte went back to the edge of the warning track to catch. David's had 2 career at-bats against Melanson, and one of the 2 he hit a home run. That was when Melanson was with the Astros. And David drives one over the head of Inge into right center for a base hit. So David, who hit the ball on the screws the last time up, does it again, and this time gets a positive result.
Again, another high fastball or cutter there from Melanson, covered by David.
So now the Mets get the lead run aboard. John Buck is the batter. The pitcher's spot is due up behind him, so Mike Baxter has come out on deck to be a pinch hitter. Now the question is, would you have Wright running in this spot? David has stolen 6 bases this year.
Well, since Russell Martin has come into the league, major leagues, no one's thrown out more runners than he.
7 of 17 this year, over 40%. Keeping the ball away from Buck with the cutter, 0-1. David's tied for 7th in the National League with those 6 steals. Most of them came in the opening couple of weeks of the season. Hate to run yourself out of an inning with Buck's power, but the Mets have had trouble scoring runs lately. And Buck takes a fastball for a strike, and Melanson quickly has him 0-2. Went around on the curveball, strike 3. So Buck is fanned for the second out of the inning.
Well, 3 real good pitches there. Just a curveball that bounces before the plate. Buck can't keep that bat back. Called by the home plate umpire Rob Drake.
And Terry Collins had Mike Baxter on deck to pinch hit, hoping he'd have a runner in scoring position. But since Wright is still at first, he'll change up and go with the power of Lucas Duda to try and get that run in.
Well, with 7 home runs, Duda is in scoring position when he's at the plate. So taking a shot on the extra base hit prowess of Duda.
Duda hit his 7th of the year last night. His first time up, hit it up into the Pepsi porch in right field off Jake Peavy. That was all Peavy allowed in his start for the White Sox last night. Bobby Parnell hoping for a save chance in the ninth, but he'll be in either way. And they put on a full shift against Duda. I don't see many teams do this against Lucas.
Be a nice time to change it up and swing first pitch, especially pinch hitting.
And Melanson throws that cutter and didn't get the call. 1-0. But Hurdle thought for sure that was a strike. Rare pinch hitting assignment for Duda, and it's a ground ball right at the second baseman. Inge had him play perfectly, and that retires the side. So the shift pays off for the Pirates, and the Mets are turned aside in the 8th. Right now is Bobby Parnell trying to keep this game tied in the 9th.
Well, bring your closer in the 9th in a tie game, trying to get through here so the Mets can try to win it in the bottom.
Parnell got the win on Tuesday night in Matt Harvey's brilliant start. Jose Tabata, first man up against him, takes a strike. Tabata came in as a pinch hitter in the 7th and singled to left. staying in the game in right field. He's batting ninth in the order. Starling Marte on deck, and then the pitcher's spot for the Pirates here in the ninth. Pirates still have 3 players left on the bench, all right-hand batters. Jordy Mercer, the ageless Johnny McDonald, and their backup catcher Mike McHenry. Remember McHenry?
Hit that 3-run home run off Santana.
Yeah. That was a killer. Drive to center field. Playing deep was Lagares, so he'd have to play it on a hop. Well, you played no doubles in the 9th inning. If he's playing where he normally does, he catches that ball. But instead, it's a base hit for Tabata.
Well, it's hard to criticize because that's where he's been told to play that deep. I think sometimes I find some teams take that to such an extreme.
Well, especially when you've got a center fielder like Lagares who has shown the ability to go back on a ball. So now Marte, who was called upon to sacrifice in the 7th inning and did that successfully. They gave him a pitch, and then on the second one he laid it down. Let's see what they do here. And again gets one pitch and takes Sloan away for ball 1.
Pitch was a ball, though, so I'm sure they're going to let him swing away again. See the defense shortened up in the middle. Tejada repairing a little divot there, and the defense again rubbing up against the fence.
Ball and a strike to Marte, who has struck out twice tonight and grounded out before that sacrifice. That's Jordy Mercer on deck to pinch hit. He's been doing a lot of the second base filling in with Neil Walker on the DL. Walker's eligible to come back Sunday after getting spiked and having a big cut on his hand. So he might be here for the final game of the series. Parnell trying to negotiate trouble here in the 9th. And Marte again is to swing, and he fouls it off. So no hint of a bunt here as Russell Martin makes a nice grab. You know, Martin wanted to play shortstop for the Canadian team.
That's
World Baseball.
That's right.
He was showing off his skills there.
I obviously don't understand that in the tie game, not punting there. I can understand giving him a strike to swing at. He did it once. Hurdle opted not to this time.
He's not going to be bunting now, so Wright can drop back at third. 1-2 coming to Marte, and he reaches and fouls off the fastball. Jason Grilli, who began his baseball life as a Pirate at Seton Hall and has now come full circle. He's a Pirate again. And doing extremely well. Parnell's 1-2. And Marte goes down on the curveball in the dirt. 1 out.
Well, useless at bat here, in my opinion. Marte, who's already struck out twice before then, now the hat trick, not bunting in that situation when the Pirates could try to take the lead.
So now Jordy Mercer, who was called up a couple of weeks ago when Walker went on the DL. His second go-round with the Pirates. He had 62 big league at-bats last year. Mercer's already had a game-winning home run this season. One out and one on. And Mercer takes one inside from Parnell.
And if you ever do get into one of those extra inning games, you can always use Mercer, who was a star at Oklahoma State, see McCutcheon on deck, as not only a home run hitter and RBI guy, but also as a pitcher.
Yep. All-time saves leader at Oklahoma State. Ball and a strike to Mercer. Well, what Bobby Parnell would love dearly here is to get a double play ball and avoid having to face Andrew McCutcheon in this inning. Pirates 2 runs, 8 hits. The Mets 2 runs, 6 hits. Tabata again battling that hamstring, so be not as frisky as he would normally be at first, but Parnell almost picked him off.
He was leaning. Watch his lean. Going to second base, almost caught. Gets to that outside of the bag and just barely avoids the tag before he gets there. Had him.
Sam Holbrook right on top of the play to make the call. He might not be leaning quite as far this time. 1-1 to Mercer. Threw the fastball by him, and it's 1-2.
It's fascinating to me that Bobby Parnell, throwing probably 4 or 5 miles an hour slower than he has, is getting more swing and misses now at 94 than he was at 98, 99. Free and easy, more movement.
Part of the maturing process for Parnell, who has been terrific this year. And really, if you look at his season last year,
for the second half,
he was on track to be this guy. And now he's been given the responsibility of being the 9th inning pitcher, and he is not letting go of it. Toward the hole. Tejada on the backhand. The jump throw. Got him. Nice play by Tejada to get the force for the second out.
Well, so interesting. One, the nice play and backhand by Tejada, but Bobby Parnell keeping Tabata close to first base might have got him this out at second. Just did not get a great enough jump off first base, and the fine defensive play by Tejada.
So now 2 out. Mercer is the runner at first, and Andrew McCutchen steps in. McCutchen 2 for 3 and an intentional walk tonight. Facing Parnell in a tie game in the 9th. And checks his swing on the breaking ball, and he went around. 0-1.
They've taken a lot of first pitches, and here in his last at bat, get some fastball from Parnell.
McCutchen 1 for 4 in his career against Parnell, and he takes a strike. 0-2.
No, the book on McCutchen, just an outstanding fastball hitter. That's why Bobby started him with the knuckle curve and then comes back with the fastball in the corner.
Now he's ahead 0-2, and he bounces one. A ball and 2 strikes. They've been less than 55 feet.
Nice play by Buck. He kind of traps it against his side with his right arm.
One, 2. Now that. That's such a quick bat.
Looked like a little 2-strike mode there by McCutchen.
Garrett Jones would be next.
I'm going to mess around with the strike zone. 1-2. Try bouncing that curveball one more time.
Checking on Mercer. Bobby Parnell facing the best bat in the Pirate lineup. Trying to keep it tied in the 9th. 1-2. Curveball pulled foul. Wright was playing near but not on the line.
I don't think there's anyone at the plate in the National League who's quieter before the pitch comes than Andrew McCutchen.
Fly ball deep center field. Lagares back. Warning track right at the wall. Makes the catch at the top of the fence. Juan Lagares showing off his outfield skills. Might have taken a home run away from Andrew McCutchen. If not, at least a double. Parnell saluting his center fielder. Lagares with a big play to keep it tied in the 9th. Markham goes for the Mets. Wandy Rodriguez for the Pirates. Our coverage begins tomorrow night at 6 o'clock right here on SNY. 36-year-old Jason Grilli, well-traveled, first time in his career as a closer, and he has been fantastic.
Outstanding. Unusual managing by Hurdle on top of the ninth. Marte not bunting, and here using the closer Grilli in a tie game. Only 5 saves coming into this year for Jason Grilli.
Marlon Byrd leads off in the last of the ninth. Mets looking for the walk-off win. Byrd had a sacrifice fly to drive in the first Met run, otherwise 0 for 2. And he takes up and in from Grilli for ball 1. Just to clarify what Ron was saying, at home you use your closer because you can't have a save opportunity once you get to the ninth in a tie game. On the road, it's a different story.
You usually save them just in case you get the lead.
The figuring being that your closer can only go a maximum of 2. So that gives you only 1 chance to win with your closer in the game if you bring him in this kind of a situation.
Right.
Mark Melancon worked around a base hit in the 8th, and now Grilli working the 9th. This is Jason's 6th different team. His major league debut came in 2000 with Florida. Since then he's been with the White Sox, the Tigers, Rockies, Texas. Now in his 3rd year with the Pirates. And I don't think anybody ever really thought about Jason as a closer, but here he is, 13 for 13 in save opportunities this year. 1-2. Breaking ball fouled off. Of course, Jason's dad was a big league pitcher, Steve Grilli.
Right.
Jason grew up in the Syracuse area where his dad runs the Change of Pace bar with the best wings in Syracuse.
Change of pace. Beautiful.
Right near Old MacArthur Stadium.
Well, I mean, that wasn't there when I was playing against Syracuse.
You would have spent a lot of time there had it been.
Absolutely.
Andrew Brown on deck. Bird takes high. Good at bat here by Marlin. 2-2. Bird 1 for 4 in his career against Grilli. Hit the other way. Nice knocked down by Inge. Does he have time? No! Bird beats it out. Bird getting down the line and beating the throw by Inge, and the Mets have the potential winning run aboard.
Well, clutch hitting by Marlin. Awfully nice play by Inge, getting to the ball, but scrambling to get to it. And Bird still runs well enough to beat that out. Clutch hit. Good hustle. Good start.
So Bird with the infield hit. Now Andrew Brown will come up, and you have to think he'll be asked to bunt. Bird had his first hit as a Met in the 7th, went the other way for a base hit against his University of Nebraska teammate Tony Watson, and then came in to score what at the time was the go-ahead run. Brown 1 for 2 and a walk tonight. And asked to swing away, and he takes up and in for ball 1. So just as Hurdle in the top of the inning. As you look at the Mets bench, Valdespin and Baxter left from the left side. Anthony Recker from the right. And it's Baxter who's out on deck to bat for Juan Lagares. So Alvarez stays in on the grass after Brown took the first pitch for a ball. Now squaring the bunt and lays it down beautifully. Martin has to go to first with it. 2-4 on the sacrifice, and now the winning run's at second with 1 out.
Well, nice job by Andrew Brown. Makes you feel like he might have missed the sign on the first pitch. See how he inches up, steps up 1 or 2 steps, gets to the front of the box, makes it a little easier to keep that ball fair. Just creeping up there just enough. Bats in front of the plate now. Contact will produce a ball in fair territory. Nice job.
Well, now the Pirates have to figure out how they want to play this. First base is open. You've got Mike Baxter at the plate, who's been unbelievable as a pinch hitter both last year and this, and has already had a walk-off hit on this homestand. You've got Ike Davis on deck, who drove the ball well to right center field his only time up in the game. So if you're Clint Hurdle, which way do you want to go?
It's a hard call because your closer's out there. He's 13 for 13 in save opportunities. He's out there in a tie game. You've got to feel as though his stuff is good enough to get Baxter out. But maybe the message sent by Sirich is, you know what, go after him, but let's be careful. If we get behind, don't give him something down the middle.
Of course, in a place where a single can win the game, Baxter's a better contact hitter right now than Ike is. 4 for 8 as a pinch hitter this year. Over 400 as a pinch hitter last year. It was 2 nights ago that he delivered the game-winning hit to drive in Davis with the winning run against the White Sox.
You see the outfield. You can't get any more shallow than Jose Tabata is in right field.
Bird is on second and 1 out. 2-2 bottom of the ninth. And Baxter, first pitch swinging, fouls it back. Mike can be 2 different hitters, can he? There's that very patient Mike Baxter, and then there is the killer Mike Baxter.
To me, when he starts, he's much more patient at the plate, working the count. Doesn't do that off the bench.
That's what they say. As a pinch hitter, first fastball you see, you better go up there ripping. He did, but he fouled it back. Armas trying to keep Bird close at second, and Baxter hits one up the middle. That's a base hit. Here comes Bird around third. He'll come home with the winning run. Mike Baxter has done it again, and the Mets win it 3-2.
Well, at some point you had to bust the bubble of the bullpen of Clint Hurdle. Chose to use his closer in the 9th inning in a tie game. Pitched to Mike Baxter, who was 4 for 8, now 5 for 9. And 2 now game-winning hits on this homestand for Mike Baxter. Trying to come inside again with a fastball, leaves it middle. Nice hitting by Baxter up the middle. And by the time the McCutcheon gets to it, Marlon Bird with the winning run.
Well, the key word in Whitestone now is walk-off. 2 in the last 3 days from Mike Baxter. This time chasing home Marlon Bird with the winning run. And the Mets beat the Pirates 3-2.
There's so many good things happen in this ball game for the Mets. Good start by Dylan G. Some good relief pitching in the middle by Lyon and Rice. And this big hit, another big hit by Mike Baxter. What a pinch hitter.
Terry Collins pushed every right button in this game. Ike Davis had a very important at bat to drive in what was the go-ahead run of the 7th. And then after LaTroy Hawkins faltered and gave up the game-tying home run to Pedro Alvarez in the 8th, the Mets rally and win it in the bottom of the 9th. Their 4th walk-off win of the year. Their 2nd in 3 days. And for the 2nd time in 3 days, it's Mike Baxter with the game-winning hit. And he's standing by with Kevin Burkhardt.
This is a new Citi Field record. The first time on the scoreboard twice in the same homestand. Had it twice? It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's a good feeling. Thanks.
Mike, just to come up in that situation, does the other day help you? The fact that you just did it the other day, does it help you in this situation?
I can get used to this.
I guess you're getting good at doing interviews with that all over your face too. But does the walk-off the other night make you even calmer tonight?
Yeah, it helps. It helps. I like pinch hitting. It's something that I feel like I've gotten used to, so it was good.
How about your approach? You are so patient when you're in there and you're leading off and you draw a lot of walks, but when you're pinch hitting, seems like the opposite.
Well, talking to Tough and guys that have done it in the past, I think the approach changes a little bit off the bench. You want to be a little bit more aggressive to kind of get your swing locked in and just be ready to go from the first pitch.
Mike, as a team offensively, as you're trying to kind of break out of this, what's the feeling like as the game's going along? Obviously, you're kind of scratching and clawing, but team-wise, how you hanging in there just kind of waiting to break out?
No, we're just going. I thought it was a pretty good game. We had the lead going in, and Pedro hit a good ball, and we came out on top. It was good.
It's one thing for you to come back and play here and play well, but 2 walk-offs in the same week, just blocks away from where you grew up. What's that feel like for you?
It's a great feeling. I could get used to it. It's a good feeling.
Go enjoy this one, Mike. Congrats, okay?
Thanks, Berkey.
Mike Baxter, the hero again. Let's go back to you, Gary.
Well, one New York kid who played college ball at Vanderbilt tied the game, and another kid from New York who went to Vanderbilt won it for the Mets. For every Mets win, the Mets Foundation is proud to contribute $2,500 to the Cats Women's Hospital and the Cats Institute for Women's Health. For more information, visit northshorelij.com/KIWH. This win brings the total contribution so far this season to $35,000. Mike Baxter sneaking one up the middle to drive home the winning run in the bottom of the ninth for the second time in 3 days. Mets have had trouble scoring at home, but their last 3 home wins have all been in walk-off fashion. Valdespin and now a couple for Mike Baxter. And the Mets take the opener of their series from the Pirates 3-2. Nice win for the Mets. Baxter taking the shaving cream. He's got used to this. Mets win 3-2. We'll be right back.